First, it was one person, then a dozen, and then, somehow, the entire city. Everyone I knew began walking backwards. The streets looked like film reels running in reverse. Crowds glided step by step, heads fixed forward, never turning, never speaking. At first, I thought it was a prank. I laughed when I saw Mrs. Patel from the corner shop sliding out of her doorway, bags swinging against her knees as she shuffled backwards across the street. But when I spotted a man in a pressed suit, briefcase in hand, doing the same thing, my smile faded. His gaze didn't flick. His body moved in slow, deliberate retreat, like he'd been doing it forever. By nightfall, whole sidewalks were filled with these backwards walkers. Children, teachers, policemen. Even drivers guided their cars in reverse, headlights sweeping across alleys, engines whining as they crawled against the natural order. When I begged my brother to tell me why, he grew pale. His eyes brimmed with something I'd never seen in him before: raw terror. His voice cracked as he whispered only one line: "It's the only way not to see it." Then he turned, spine rigid, and shuffled away like the rest. Those words rooted themselves in my mind, repeating endlessly, "The only way not to see what?" The next morning, the city no longer felt like home. Every corner throbbed with unease. The air itself seemed heavier, as if something vast pressed down from above. People filled the streets, all drifting backwards in eerie silence. No conversation, no laughter, only the scrape of souls dragging against concrete, a collective retreat from something unseen. I asked strangers, desperate for an explanation. Each gave me the same lifeless reply, their lips barely moving. "It's the only way not to see it." I wanted to scream. See what? But no one would say more. Their eyes remained forward, glassy, unblinking. By night, I locked my doors and stared at the window. What I saw chilled me to the bone. From above, the city looked like a ritual in motion. Hundreds of figures glided in unison, lit by the orange haze of street lamps, their backwards procession flowing like a current. The sound of their synchronized steps carried through the glass, steady and unnatural, a heartbeat that wasn't human. And then came the knock, 3 heavy strikes against my door. I froze. Each thud rattled the frame, slow and deliberate. When I finally opened it, the hallway was empty. Silence stretched around me. But when I turned back toward the window, I froze. In the reflection, I wasn't alone. Behind me stood a figure. It loomed taller than any person, its limbs crooked and wrong, its head bent at an impossible angle. Where its face should have been, 2 pale eyes burned like lanterns, steady and piercing. I spun around. The room was empty. Yet the reflection lingered in my mind, etched into me like a scar I could never remove. I didn't sleep for 2 nights. The city outside shuffled endlessly. The sound of those backward steps never ceased. They became a chant in the dark, a warning I couldn't decode. On the 3rd night, hunger forced me outside. The moment I stepped forward into the street, everybody froze. 1,000 eyes turned to me at once, wide and unblinking. The silence pressed like a weight against my chest. I ignored it. I walked forward, not backward. Every step felt like defiance, like hammering nails into my own coffin. My brother stood at the corner, trembling, his head shaking. His lips moved, mouthing words he couldn't bear to say aloud. Still, I pressed on. My heart thudded so loudly it drowned out the world. Sweat traced icy lines down my back. The air itself seemed to resist me, pulling me backward with every step, urging me to join the rest. At the end of the street, beneath a buzzing street lamp, I stopped. My lungs burned, my skin prickled, and then I turned. I saw it. It stood just beyond the light, its body stretched thin, its limbs bending the wrong way. Its silhouette flickered like static, and its eyes. God, those eyes glowed white, drilling through me, hollow and endless. The air turned bitterly cold. My breath came in shallow gasps. The world narrowed to silence. And with every blink, it moved closer, without ever taking a step. One instant it was far, the next, it was only feet away. I stumbled backward, choking for breath. Around me, the city screamed. The backward crowd cried out in unison, voices breaking in terror. But it was too late. The figure was upon me. Its presence pressed against me like stone, its shadow swallowing mine. A skeletal hand rose slowly, pressing against my chest. My heart stuttered beneath its touch. I understood then that this wasn't madness or superstition. This was survival. The city walked backwards to deny it. To face it was to summon it closer. To see it was to be seen. Darkness rushed in, thick and endless. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on the pavement. My brother knelt over me, tears streaking his face. His voice broke in a whisper I didn't need to hear to understand. Now you know, because I could feel it. Behind me, always behind me. A weight pressing against the air, a cold breath against my neck. Invisible, but there. From that night onward, I joined the rest. My feet carried me backwards, slow and steady, never daring to turn, never daring to face what I knew waited just behind me. I tried at first to convince myself it wasn't real. That fear was painting phantoms in the dark, but then I would hear it, breathing, dragging, sometimes whispering. Always a fraction too close, always waiting for me to turn. And I understand the truth now. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. Once you're marked, it follows forever.